From shadowed mountains to deep forest lakes, Idaho holds stories that still haunt the state. Today, we're bringing 12 mysterious legends back to life. Number 1. The Water Babies of Massacre Rocks. Along the Snake River in southeastern Idaho, near a place called Massacre Rocks, a chilling legend has echoed through time. It comes from the Shoshone people who once lived along these riverbanks. During a time of famine and desperation, some mothers, faced with hunger, were forced to make an unthinkable choice. The story goes that they gently placed their babies in the river, believing it was the only way to protect them from a life of hardship. But that's not where the story ends. According to legend, the spirits of those children never left the water. On quiet nights, travelers and campers have reported hearing the faint sound of crying coming from the river, soft and sorrowful, as if drifting on the wind. Some even say they've seen small ripples or handprints where no one else was nearby. The Shoshone spoke of these spirits as water babies, not evil, but restless. They're believed to live beneath the surface of the river, appearing only to those who wander too close. A few claim to have heard giggles or whispers near the rocks, followed by sudden cold air and an eerie silence. Whether the cries are real or just imagination, the legend has never faded. Massacre Rocks still draws curious visitors, and those brave enough to listen by the water's edge. Because once you've heard the cries, they say, you'll never forget them. Number 2. The Charlie of Payet Lake. High in the mountains of western Idaho, nestled beside the town of McCall, lies the beautiful and deep Payet Lake. But beneath its peaceful surface swims a mystery that has haunted locals for nearly a century. They call it Charlie, a massive, serpent-like creature said to live in the cold, shadowy depths. The first major sighting came in 1920 when a group of people reported seeing something that looked like a dinosaur gliding across the lake. Since then, dozens more have claimed to see Charlie, describing it as 30 to 40 feet long, dark-colored, with humps rising above the water like the back of a sea dragon. Some say it only comes out when the lake is perfectly still. While skeptics blame logs or waves, believers argue the sightings are too consistent to ignore. Even fishermen and boaters, people familiar with the lake, have shared stories of being followed by a strange shape under the water or spotting it in the distance before it vanished without a trace. Today, Charlie is more than just a local legend. It's part of McCall's identity, inspiring festivals, souvenirs, and endless speculation. Number 3. The Phantom Jogger of Canyon Hill. Canyon Hill Cemetery in Caldwell, Idaho, is peaceful by day. But after sunset, locals say something strange begins to stir. That's when the Phantom Jogger appears, a mysterious figure seen sprinting through the shadows, running the same silent path over and over again. Some see only her shape. Others hear the rhythmic sound of footsteps that stop the moment you look. The legend says she was once a young woman who jogged near the cemetery daily, rain or shine. One night, she never came home. No one knows exactly what happened, but ever since, strange things have been reported in the area. Drivers parked near the gate say their cars have been tapped or shaken. Some return to find fogged-up windows and handprints on the glass. What makes her so eerie is how quickly she vanishes. Witnesses say she appears suddenly in their rearview mirror or out of the corner of their eye and is gone the moment they turn to look. And always, she runs in silence, her face never fully seen, as if she's stuck reliving her final run. Whether she's a restless spirit or just a trick of the light, the phantom jogger has become one of Canyon Hill's most unforgettable legends. If you ever find yourself parked there late at night, listen closely. You might just hear her footsteps passing by. Number 4. The Stick Indians. Long before settlers came to Idaho, the forests were known to the native tribes as places of great beauty and great danger. Among the most feared beings in tribal lore were the Stick Indians, mysterious forest spirits that stalked the trees and whispered through the night. They didn't show themselves clearly, but those who heard them knew to run. The stories vary, but most agree. Stick Indians are invisible hunters who lure people off trails by imitating voices or whistles. Some say they can mimic loved ones, calling you deeper into the woods until you're hopelessly lost. Others believe they only appear to those who show disrespect to the forest. But once they find you, they don't let go easily. What makes them terrifying isn't just what they do, but what they don't. They don't chase, they don't speak, they just watch. Campers have reported hearing whistling from different directions, feeling eyes on them, or waking up to find strange markings around their tents, though no tracks leading in or out. Even today, in the vast forests of Idaho, some hikers refuse to travel alone. Whispers in the wind and unexplained sounds make even the bravest pause, because out there, in the dark, something ancient still listens, and the Stick Indians are never far away. Number 5. The Lava Hot Springs Spirits. Tucked in the southeastern corner of Idaho lies Lava Hot Springs, a peaceful resort town known for its steaming mineral pools. But long before it became a destination for tourists, the Shoshone and Banic tribes considered the springs sacred and filled with powerful spirits. They believed the waters had healing energy, but also warned of something deeper, something watching from the mist. Even today, visitors sometimes report strange encounters, shapes moving through the steam, footsteps echoing when no one is there, and sudden chills despite the heat. Some say they feel as though they're not alone while soaking in the pools, especially at night. One legend tells of a spirit woman who appears in the fog, her eyes glowing faintly before vanishing into thin air. Stories passed down say the spirits belong to those who once came to the springs in times of sickness or war. Some found peace. Others, it's said, never left. The waters are respected by locals, not just for their comfort, but for the energy they seem to hold, an energy that feels alive and ancient. So next time you find yourself relaxing in Lava Hot Springs, take a moment to listen. The bubbling pools may be soothing, but deep in the mist, the spirits of the past might still be drifting just out of sight. Number 6. The Nimraar of the Lemh Range. High in Idaho's Lemh Mountains, legend speaks of a fierce and secretive people known as the Nimraar, a race of tiny, human-like warriors no taller than 3 feet. According to Shoshone stories, these beings once lived in the rocky caves and cliffs, shooting poisoned arrows and attacking intruders who dared to come too close. Unlike friendly fairies or forest creatures, the Nimraar were feared. They were said to be quick, clever, and deadly. Some believed they had magical powers that let them disappear into the rocks. Others claimed they would come down at night to steal food or spy on tribes that lived nearby. The Shoshone treated the land with respect because they believed the Nimraar still watched from above. In 1932, a discovery added fuel to the legend. A strange, tiny, mummified body was found in a cave in neighboring Wyoming. about 2 feet tall, with sharp teeth and a shrunken face. Some thought it was a hoax. Others believed it was proof the Nimraar had truly existed. The mummy vanished after a few years, but the mystery only grew. Today, hikers and campers in the Lemh range still tell stories of hearing whispers in the rocks or spotting movement in places no person should fit. The mountains are wild, and much of them remains unexplored. And if the Nimraar are still out there, they've stayed hidden for a reason. Number 7. The Ghost of Old Idaho Penitentiary. Just outside of Boise stands the old Idaho State Penitentiary, a stone fortress that once held some of the most dangerous criminals in the West. Built in 1870 and used for over 100 years, its cold walls and dark cells have seen riots, hangings, and escapes. But even after the prison closed in 1973, some say the inmates never truly left. Visitors and staff have reported chilling encounters, cold spots in empty rooms, cell doors that slam shut on their own, and ghostly whispers echoing through solitary confinement. One of the most haunted areas is Cell Block 5, where death row prisoners were kept. Many believe the energy from those final days still lingers in the air. The most famous ghost is believed to be Ray Snowden, nicknamed Idaho's Jack the Ripper. He was executed in 1957 for a brutal murder and is said to haunt the gallows room. Some guests have felt dizzy or watched lights flicker when standing near where he was hanged. Others have left with scratches or strange marks after entering his cell. Today, the old penitentiary is a museum, but its legend lives on through tours and countless ghost stories. Those who walk its halls at night don't just feel the weight of history, they feel something watching, waiting, and unwilling to forget. Number 8. The Weiser River Serpent. Winding through the mountains and fields of western Idaho, the Weiser River is a peaceful place, but its waters hide a legend that goes back to the 1800s. That's when early settlers began telling stories of a huge serpent-like creature gliding just below the surface. Long and black with a ridged back, it was said to move silently, leaving only ripples in its wake. The earliest sightings came from ranchers and trappers who claimed to see the creature sunning itself on rocks or swimming across narrow bends. One man swore he watched it slither into the brush, describing it as over 20 feet long. Others said it vanished underwater the moment it was spotted, as if it knew it was being watched. Some thought it might be a leftover from the prehistoric world. Others blamed natural causes, floating logs, waves, or fish. But over time, the sightings continued. Even as towns grew along the river, people kept whispering about the creature no one could quite explain. Though it's been years since a confirmed report, the legend of the Weiser River Serpent still stirs curiosity and fear. Locals say if you're near the water on a still morning and the river suddenly ripples without a sound, you may not be alone. Number 9. The Boise River Shadow Man. Along the quiet trails that follow the Boise River, joggers and walkers have reported something strange, a tall, shadowy figure that appears in the trees, always just out of reach. They call him the Shadow Man, and those who've seen him say he doesn't move like a person, more like a shadow that watches. He's most often spotted at dusk, standing still beneath the trees near the water. Some say he wears a hat. Others say he has glowing eyes. But what everyone agrees on is this: when you look directly at him, he's gone. It's only when you turn away that you feel him near again, as if he follows from behind, never making a sound. The legend says the Shadow Man could be the ghost of a settler who vanished near the river over a century ago. Others think he's something older, a spirit that's always been tied to the land, protecting the water from those who don't respect it. A few even believe he's a warning, appearing before accidents happen near the trail. Whatever he is, the shadow man of the Boise River remains a mystery. People still report seeing him, and some even change their route to avoid the area at dusk, because once you feel him watching, it's hard to forget. Number 10. The Banic Beast. In the remote forests of Banic County, Idaho, stories have been whispered for over 100 years about a creature unlike anything else in the state. Known as the Banic Beast, this massive ape-like figure is said to roam the backwoods, leaving behind broken branches, deep tracks, and howling cries that echo through the night. Described as nearly 8 feet tall with long hair and glowing red eyes, the creature has been blamed for missing livestock, smashed fences, and campers running from their tents in fear. Some say it walks on 2 legs like a human, but moves with the strength and speed of a wild animal. Native tribes in the area spoke of similar creatures long before settlers arrived, beings of the mountains who kept to themselves unless disturbed. Hunters have claimed to find strange nests in the woods, made of branches and bones. And more than one person has reported locking eyes with something they couldn't explain. Something wild, intelligent, and angry. Though no proof has ever been captured, the sightings continue. Locals say the deeper you go into the forest, the more likely you are to hear something you can't explain. And if you do, don't run, because the Banic Beast is said to chase those who show fear. Number 11. The Lost Gold of Reynolds Creek. In the rugged Owyhee Mountains of southwestern Idaho, an old tale has refused to fade, the story of a hidden stash of gold buried near Reynolds Creek. According to legend, a group of outlaws robbed a stagecoach in the 1860s, making off with thousands in gold coins. With lawmen close behind, they fled into the canyons and buried the treasure in a secret spot, vowing to come back for it later. But they never did. Some say they were caught. Others believe they were killed in a shootout. Either way, the gold was never recovered. For generations, treasure hunters have combed the rocky hills and narrow ravines, searching for clues. Some claim to have found odd carvings or rusted tools, but the treasure itself remains lost. What makes this legend so compelling is how often strange things happen to those who go looking. Locals tell of maps that vanish, compasses that spin wildly, and weather that changes in an instant. A few even say the area is cursed, that the gold is guarded by something unseen, protecting it from those who get too close. Even today, people still hike into Reynolds Creek, metal detectors in hand, hoping to be the one who finally strikes it rich. But most come back with stories, not coins. And as long as that treasure remains hidden, so will the mystery that's haunted Idaho's hills for over a century. Number 12. The Twin Falls Cave Witch. Just outside of Twin Falls, near the cliffs of the Snake River Canyon, there's a chilling story that locals whisper about to this day, the legend of the Cave Witch. In the early 1900s, a woman was said to live alone in a rocky cave high above the river. People called her strange, with wild eyes and a voice that echoed like wind through the canyon. Children were warned to stay away from the cliffs. Some said the woman would call out, using the voice of someone you knew, your mother, your friend, even your own. And if you followed the voice, it would lead you closer to the cave, and you might not come back. Several people were said to have gone missing in the area, fueling the fear. The cave itself collapsed long ago, but hikers still report unsettling sights. Symbols etched into nearby rocks, sudden drops in temperature, and soft whispers when the wind is still. Some say they've seen a figure standing at the edge of the cliff, watching, unmoving, and gone the moment you look away. Whether she was a real person, a spirit, or just a story to keep kids safe, the Cave Witch remains one of Twin Falls' most haunting mysteries. And if you ever walk those cliffs alone, listen closely, because the voice might sound familiar, but it may not be what it seems. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.